Stop right there. The voice echoed through the cold night. Captain Jeremiah Cole, still in his Army combat uniform, had just stepped out of his car in front of a convenience store to buy his daughter a bottle of orange juice for school. He didn't even have time to close the door when two police cruisers screeched across the parking lot. Flashlights hit his face. "Where do you think you're going?" The first officer barked. Jeremiah froze, palms open, calm but alert. "To the store," he said. "Is there a problem?" The second officer stepped forward, hand already resting on his holstered weapon. "You match the description of a suspect." The officer growled. Jeremiah blinked. "I'm in uniform," he replied slowly. "U.S. Army. I've just come from base." The officer's lips curled. "I don't care what costume you're wearing. Turn around and put your hands on the hood." Jeremiah's jaw tightened. His daughter's backpack was still in the back seat. Her shoes were next to it. She had forgotten in this moment. He was trying to be a good father. He didn't expect guns. He said, voice steady, "Officer, I'm asking respectfully, what crime do you believe I committed? Don't get smart with me." The first officer snapped. "Hands on the hood. Now, before I make you." Jeremiah didn't move. His voice remained controlled. "I'm an Army officer. I have ID. Let me show you." "No." A finger pointed directly at his chest. "You don't reach for anything. You hear me? You do not reach." The tension strangled the night. Behind them, a few customers stopped and stared. A woman whispered, "He's in uniform. Why they treat him like that?" The officer barked again. "Last warning. Hands on the hood." Jeremiah took a slow breath. He complied. He placed his palms on the hood of his car. That should have been enough. But the night had already chosen violence. Hello, everyone. Before we begin today's video, we want to thank you for your support, love, and kindness. We wouldn't have come this far without you. Subscribing is one of the best ways you can help us. It's quick, free, and allows us to continue to bring you great content. Your support means everything. Let's keep this channel growing collectively. Where are you watching from? Drop your city and country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now, let's get back to the story. The officers closed in. The younger one leaned close, sneering. "You think wearing that uniform makes you special, huh?" Jeremiah didn't answer. "I asked you a question," the officer said. He pressed a hand on Jeremiah's shoulder harder than necessary. Jeremiah said quietly, "I serve this country, same as you." The officer scoffed. "You don't serve anything. You're just playing soldier." Jeremiah felt heat rise in his chest, not anger, but sorrow. He was a decorated officer. His service record was impeccable. Afghanistan twice, Syria once, 2 Purple Hearts. He had led men through fire. He couldn't believe that here, in a grocery store parking lot in his own country, he was being treated like a threat. The older officer circled around the passenger side. "Open the car," he said. "You don't have a warrant," Jeremiah replied. The officer smiled. "We don't need one. This is probable cause." "For what?" Jeremiah asked. "You look nervous." "I'm surrounded by guns," Jeremiah said. Anyone would be nervous. A crowd had formed now. The situation felt wrong. Someone recorded with their phone. Someone else was praying. Jeremiah didn't resist. He cooperated. That didn't matter. It never does in stories like this. When Jeremiah turned his head slightly to speak, the younger officer suddenly shouted, "He's making a move." A single terrible second, a flinch, a misunderstanding. 2 gunshots split the air. Jeremiah crumpled to the ground, gasping. There was silence. The world held its breath. A woman screamed. "He didn't even move. Why did you shoot him?" "He didn't do anything." The younger officer stepped back, panicked. He was reaching." "No, he wasn't," someone yelled. "I saw everything." Blood darkened Jeremiah's uniform around his shoulder and side. He remained conscious. Barely. His voice was faint. "Please call my base. Call Colonel Hayes, tell her what happened." He was fading. But that name, Colonel Hayes, was the turning point of the night. Jeremiah's phone, still unlocked in the car, vibrated with a text from base. But someone else had already dialed. A trembling man, witnessing everything, hit the emergency contact on the uniform. He said into the phone, There's been a shooting. An Army officer, they shot him. The voice on the other end paused. Then, where is he? It started with headlights. 2 Humvees arrived within minutes. Soldiers jumped out, weapons not drawn but posture rigid. Move back, one shouted at the crowd. The police officers froze. They had expected backup cars, not military vehicles. A tall woman stepped into the lights. Full uniform, silver eagle on her chest. Colonel Addison Hayes. Her eyes scanned the scene. She saw Jeremiah on the ground. Something inside her broke. She walked past the police as if they were ghosts. She knelt beside him. Jeremiah, stay with me. He coughed, blood on his lips. Addison, they said I matched the description. Her face twisted. Her voice shook with fury. You didn't deserve this. None of my soldiers deserve this. She looked up at the officers. Cold, controlled, deadly. What have you done? No one answered. Colonel Hayes stood. Her voice became thunder. You shot a decorated U.S. Army officer, in uniform, on American soil, for nothing. The officers tried to speak. She cut them off. Step away from my soldier. The crowd roared in agreement. For the first time, the officers hesitated. One stammered. He reached for something. No, Colonel Hayes said. I know Jeremiah Cole. I've led operations with him. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't panic. He follows orders. And he served this country while you were still in school. Her words sliced through the night. Ambulance lights glowed in the distance. But that wasn't what shook the police. It was what she said next. I'm calling the Pentagon. Jeremiah drifted in and out of consciousness. He heard voices like distant thunder. Military base inbound. Commanders notified. Media will not be needed. We will handle this. The crowd had grown. People screamed for justice. Others were crying. The police, once bold, now looked small. Humvees lined the street. The army was here. Jeremiah whispered, My daughter, tell her I'm okay. Colonel Hayes squeezed his hand. You'll tell her yourself. He tried to smile. Pain consumed him. Then darkness. When the ambulance doors closed, Colonel Hayes turned to the officers. Before she spoke, 4 more military vehicles arrived. Soldiers stepped out, not with rifles raised, but with documents, authority, power. Colonel Hayes said quietly, with icy precision, You shot one of ours. Now we respond. The street went silent. The military had come, not with violence, but with consequences. And the officers had no idea what was coming next. Jeremiah didn't remember the ambulance ride, just flashes, the spinning ceiling lights, a paramedic shouting, Stay with me, sir. A mask pressed over his face, then darkness. When he woke, he saw a fluorescent hospital ceiling and a silver eagle. Colonel Addison Hayes was sitting beside his bed. She hadn't moved all night. Her eyes were tired but blazing. You're alive, she said quietly. Jeremiah swallowed. Barely, she managed half a smile, enough to cause trouble. Jeremiah chuckled, then winced. Pain shot through his shoulder. How bad? You'll recover, she said. Bullet passed through soft tissue. No organ damage. He whispered, Thank God. Colonel Hayes leaned forward. Jeremiah, the army is with you. I need you to trust me. He frowned. What's happening? Her voice dropped to steel. You were shot, in uniform, for nothing. We will not let this disappear. Before sunrise, the hospital was surrounded, not by protesters, by military attorneys, JAG officers in full dress. They moved with quiet power. Briefcases, folders, orders. Colonel Hayes stood in the hallway like a general on a battlefield. Her voice carried authority. I want every statement, every witness, every second accounted for. We proceed within the law, but we proceed fast. A lieutenant asked, Do we involve local DA? No, Hayes said, we go higher. She lifted a file. This goes to the U.S. Attorney's Office, federal level. Someone whistled under their breath. She wasn't playing. The police department expected protests. They did not expect the Pentagon. Before noon, the chief of police sat at his desk, sweating, staring at 3 uniforms across from him. Not local uniforms, Army uniforms. One officer slid a folded document across his desk. "Read it," she said. The chief's hand shook. His eyes widened. "Administrative leave, pending federal investigation, suspension authority. Effective immediately," the officer said. "Every officer involved in the shooting. And we will need all your body cam footage." Another added. The chief swallowed. He knew he had no power here. "No press," Colonel Hayes said. "No spin. The Army will handle communication." The chief finally stammered. "Colonel, this is unprecedented." "No," she replied. "Shooting a decorated Army captain in uniform is unprecedented. Our response is simply appropriate." She stood. "If your men think a uniform makes them a threat, they're about to learn what a real uniform can do." The town woke to news. Not rumors. Not shaky cell phone videos. Full, official military statements. A press briefing took place at the hospital entrance. Podium. Flagged. Microphones. Colonel Hayes stepped forward and spoke with calm fury. "Last night, Captain Jeremiah Cole, United States Army, was shot by local police officers while in uniform and unarmed. He committed no crime. He followed every instruction. He posed no threat. He was shot because he was assumed to be one." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Reporters scribbled. Hayes continued. "Captain Cole has served this nation with honor. He has bled for it. He defended others with his life. And last night, he was endangered by those sworn to protect." Her voice hardened. "We will not allow this to be buried. We will pursue accountability under federal law. We will not rest until justice is served." A reporter called out, "Isn't this just one incident?" Hayes' eyes turned to ice. One incident is enough when it almost kills a hero. Within 48 hours, all involved officers were suspended, their weapons seized, their badges taken. They were escorted out of the station. The younger officer, the one who pulled the trigger, exploded. "You can't do this. I did nothing wrong. I felt threatened." A military attorney said calmly, "You shot a man who was not resisting. The law will decide if you felt threatened or if you were wrong." The older officer whispered, pale, Is he alive?" Colonel Hayes stared him down. "He is, and he remembers every word you said." The officer's face collapsed. For the first time, fear replaced arrogance. Jeremiah's daughter, Ava, entered the hospital room. 13 years old, tight curls, big eyes. She burst into tears the moment she saw him. "Daddy." Jeremiah opened his arms. He held her with his good arm, trembling. "I'm so sorry," she whispered into his chest. "For what?" Jeremiah asked gently. "For being afraid. For thinking you wouldn't come home." Jeremiah's voice broke. "I will always come home. For you." She sobbed harder. Colonel Hayes quietly stepped outside and closed the door. Some battles are private. A week later, there was a community hearing. Packed room. Standing only. Jeremiah entered wearing his uniform. Bandaged, walking steady. People rose to their feet. Some applauded. Some cried. The mayor sat in the front row, tense. Beside him, lawyers. Colonel Hayes. Reporters. And then the woman who had shouted that night stepped forward to speak. Her voice trembled. "I saw everything. Captain Cole never reached for anything. He did everything right. He was peaceful. He was respectful. They shot him anyway." She looked straight at the officers, seated with lawyers. He wore a uniform that says United States Army, but they didn't see a hero. They didn't see a man. They saw something to fear. Silence swallowed the room. She finished. "I want to live in a country where uniform means respect, not danger." The officers tried to defend themselves. The younger one, red-faced, stammered. I thought he might have a weapon." Jeremiah stood. Everyone watched. He spoke calmly. "I had nothing in my hands. I said I was reaching for ID. I said it slowly. I followed every command. I did not resist." The officer muttered. You moved. Jeremiah's voice rose. I turned my head to answer your question. The younger officer went pale. A reporter asked, "Did you feel threatened?" The officer whispered, "I don't know. I just reacted." Colonel Hayes said, "Fear is not a license to shoot someone." The room erupted in applause. The mayor stood. He looked at the officers. "As of today, you are terminated, and the city will cooperate fully with the federal investigation." Their faces collapsed. They left under escort, their arrogance gone, their untouchable illusion shattered. A month later, Jeremiah returned to the base. His soldiers stood in formation. When he stepped onto the parade field, pain in his shoulder, uniform pressed, they saluted. Every single one. Colonel Hayes lifted her voice. "This is Captain Jeremiah Cole. He serves his country with honor. We stand with him." Jeremiah blinked back tears. Ava watched in front row, chin lifted proudly. After the ceremony, a young private approached Jeremiah. "Sir, I just want to say, what happened to you was wrong, and I'm sorry." Jeremiah placed a hand on the private's shoulder. "You didn't do it, but thank you." The private swallowed. "You inspire us, sir." Jeremiah smiled softly. "I'm just trying to be a good father and a good soldier." Later that evening, Jeremiah sat on a bench outside the base with Ava beside him. The sun was setting. She leaned her head on his uninjured shoulder. "Daddy," she whispered. "Yes, baby." "Are you afraid to go places now?" He thought for a long moment. "Sometimes," he admitted, "but I won't live in fear, and I won't let injustice win." Ava asked, "How can we stop things like this?" Jeremiah answered gently, "By telling the truth, even when it hurts, by standing up, even when we're shaking, by protecting each other, even when others look away." He looked at her and smiled. "And by raising children who know that dignity is stronger than fear." Ava wiped her eyes. "I want to be brave like you." Jeremiah kissed her forehead. "You already are." The wind moved softly through the trees. A quiet peace settled over them. The world hadn't changed completely, but something had. People had seen injustice. People had stood up, and one truth remained clear. A uniform does not make someone dangerous, but prejudice can make someone blind. Power is not in the badge or the gun or the title. Power is in the courage to stand for what is right. Respect cannot be demanded. It must be earned. And no one is untouchable when the truth finally speaks.